So I'm going to teach you about the spinal cord. Okay? So this is everything we're going to locate in the spinal cord. Okay? Hopefully you know vaguely what all of that is, but I'm going to try and teach you. Okay, so posterior median sulcus is right here. A sulcus is just a depression or a groove, and you can see that little groove right here. So that's how you know that's the posterior side. And on the anterior side, you have the fissure, the anterior median fissure. And a fissure is like a slice. So you can see that slice right here. And that's how you can tell the anterior from the posterior side. A slice versus just a tiny little depression. So once you find out that's the anterior side, you know that this is the gray matter, that butterfly looking thing, and the anterior gray horns are here. And the lateral gray horns are right here, and the posterior gray horns are right here. The posterior gray horns contain cell bodies and dendrites of sensory neurons, and then the lateral horns contain, it would be motor information, but to the visceral organs. And then this anterior horns right here are for somatic muscle control. That's why they're so large, because you obviously have a lot of muscles, you need a lot of muscle control. And then this hole in the center is the central canal. It's better on other sides. So here is the central canal, much better. And then you can see the butterfly shape of the gray matter. And in this one you can see that those bottom anterior gray horns are much larger, which are more accurate because it controls skeletal muscle. It's large. Okay, so then you have, in the white matter, you have these tracts, okay, because this is all central nervous system. This is composed of tracts, aka axons, of the dendrites and cell bodies that exist here. So these are the axons of those neurons. So they make little lines. You can't see it very well on this slide, but you can see the lines here. The lines going in. You see the tracks all going towards that gray matter. So on the top, you call that the posterior white column. Those tracks of white matter on the posterior side. Then you have the lateral column on the lateral side. Oh, lateral white column, and then anterior white column. And then you have your posterior gray commissures on the top of the central canal, which are just the gray matter lines on the top running this way diagonally. And then on the anterior side, you have anterior gray commissures. Okay, and then now zoomed out a little more, this is the vertebrae, right? Right here. And this is the spinal cord passing through the vertebral canal, sorry. So this is the central canal, and the dorsal root's right here, which contains sensory information. So this is the axon of a sensory nerve passing from the dorsal root ganglion. And then everything from there is the dendrites of the dorsal root. Actually, it turns into the dorsal ramus, and it is sensory information. The dendrites collect information, they send it to this ganglion for integration, they send it down its axon to synapse with the gray matter. I wish you could see the gray matter better in this one, but it synapses with the gray matter right here, so you can see it joins. This is the gray matter, and this is where the dorsal root would join. That's where they synapse. So the axons of the sensory neurons synapse with the cell bodies and dendrites of the ones that collect the sensory information. Doesn't that make sense that the sensory information is up top where the dorsal root comes off? Okay, and then on the bottom, if this is muscle control, what do you think the ventral root controls? Yeah, motor output. So these cell bodies actually send an action potential to the ventral root, and the ventral root is all an axon, and it sends it all the way down to send out its motor output to an effector. So this right here is the ventral root on the bottom, and it does not have a ganglion, okay? So it does not touch that dorsal root ganglion, okay? It goes all the way right here, and on this side it goes all the way right here. And this is the dorsal root ganglion, only connected to the dorsal root right here. And then once they merge, right here is where they merge, that's when you call it a spinal nerve. And then off there you would have the dorsal ramus going this way, the ventral ramus going this way, which would be the big fat one, and then communicating ramus going down that way. Communicating rami, because there's two, going down that way. And they communicate with visceral organs. Visceral organs. Visceral means organs, so it's organ control. Okay, and that's it for the spinal cord.